be a 3-card reading, meditating on the energy of the Emperor. The Emperor is divine masculine. The Emperor is a card for Aries. It is fire energy. It is divine masculine. It is, on one side, it is paternal. On another side, it is just masculine, the masculine side of the yin yang. It is creative energy. It is fire energy. It is the counterpart to the Empress, the divine feminine. It is the way that we balance our nature. So the first card is interesting. It's the Magician, and it came out reversed. So what is the second card? Well, I got two cards. Queen of Swords and Death. So we've got 3 cards for our reading here. Oh, how interesting. The Empress has come up at the base of the reading, which is completely appropriate. So we're going to put our Empress over here. So the Magician. The Magician is the manifester. The Magician is Gemini energy. The Magician allows us to manifest in many ways. It's a good example of the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine. And in this position, this upside down, it's the potential for manipulation. Now that's something that, as an Emperor energy, the tendency on the shadow side would be to be controlling, manipulative. That is out of balance. So that is something that is to me, that's interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and look up the Emperor. In this deck, Emperor energy is authority and power, strategic and analytical thinking. This Queen of Swords card is also about strategic and analytical thinking. It's a power of not being over emotional, making decisions, which, if we think of the divine masculine and divine feminine, the divine feminine is more thought of traditionally as being an emotional, moving from emotion. The divine masculine is thinking more of coming from strategic. So I think that isn't necessarily the case, but that, that's the archetype that we have. We have the Death and Rebirth card here also. So how these energies work together. The Emperor is confidence. There's a harmonious nature, which reversed can be rigid, ungiving, selfish, or defensive. It can be a desire for control. The Emperor reversed is sort of a narcissist, the energy, the feeling of a narcissist. So it's important to understand where you have great power, you have to know how to use that power correctly. That is really what that talks about. And the Magician upside down is interesting to me for several reasons. It is a card typically of skill, natural talents, manifestation, creativity, resourcefulness, knowing how to use all of those things. And that's something that the Emperor card has with it, brings with it. Reversed, however, the Magician card is unused potential. Latent talents, that's talents that you haven't developed. If people have, if you're an Aries who has an issue with the feeling of power and leadership, this can be a card that is telling you that you haven't really developed your skills, that you actually have innate leadership skills. Those are available to you, and you may not be using them. The manipulation part of it is, it's like I said, it's kind of the narcissist side of the reversed shadow energy of the Emperor. It's that authority figure that abuses that power. That is something that is to be cautioned against. And I think this talks about the shadow side of the emperor. There's also a potential that it's blocked energy, and is that blocked creative energy is something that you may be afraid of your own power. That is something that, again, that's a downside of the emperor. If you are a person who feels challenged by authority, sometimes being able to know that you have the power within you, innate ability to lead, sometimes you will deny that. And I think that's what that's talking about. So let's look at the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, in an interesting way, has really, literally, according to this card, locked up her heart. Her emotions are set aside. This is something that the Empress would never do. The Queen of Swords does. But there is an analytical nature to the Queen of Swords that makes her a wise counsel, because she will work out of the evidence, the honest facts, and being direct and seek truth. However, that can make that character sometimes come across as cold, unfeeling. And this is the reason why, is that those emotions are locked up. That, to me, is another side of the emperor that could be a shadow side. So I think we're talking about some energy here that is useful. You can use the analytical, intellectual, and still keep it balanced, because I feel that the asset of the Queen of Swords is also the liability. Because if you're not able to react emotionally, sometimes you miss a lot. You miss the nuances, because people are complicated, and sometimes you need to be reacting from the heart as well, because you will miss what is, while you'll have all of the facts, or what you believe to be the facts, statistics, and information, you need to know that within context. So that's where the balance between the Empress and Emperor energies comes in. You can think in a very balanced way. You can look at the facts and you can say, is this fair? Is it right? Does it fit? Is this what we need to do? Is this the kind and effective way to go about something? So that's the balance. And then the Death and Rebirth card. The energy of creation is all about cycles. And so death and rebirth is the ability to let go of the past, to embrace new beginnings. So this is really kind of the new year energy. We always think of it as a new start, whereas it's really just a calendar day. It's a construct of time that really has nothing to do with reality. It's a way that humanity marks the passage of time. That's all it is. So the cycle that is coming around is moving you into or out of a state. And I think that's the message here is there is a cycle, and this is a time when you can embrace and develop the balance that you need between the Emperor and the Empress energy. That is where you're going to be able to take this and manifest in a strong way. If you can move past that, you can embrace that. And that's the message for me, because I have seen many people who are afraid to take their own power. They're afraid to step into their own power. They feel challenged by that in some ways. That's the thing. It's the balance. Because if you look at the card, it is a balance of energies. The magician can work in all of the realms of the earth, air, fire, and water. Those are the things that helps the magician manifest. the Empress and the Emperor together have that perfect balance. And that is, I think, the message here. Get the energies of manifestation right by balancing things. And I think, again, the Queen of Swords is face the truth, yes. And you can use this as a way to guard yourself against energies that don't deserve you giving them your emotional energy. That is one way to look at the balance here. This can be a time of transition for you. If you have the energy of the Magician and you have not embraced it, this means that this is a time when you can do that. This is a time when you can balance your Empress and Emperor energy, your divine feminine and divine masculine. And you can use discernment. You know, what emotions might be standing in your way of embracing this? What is it that you can do to get to the point where you understand that you have the ability with the Emperor and the Empress to turn this Magician the right way around and be able to manifest? Every day we get up, we go to work, we manifest things. Manifestation on its own is not magical. It is going in and doing the work and making things happen. Making the resources that you have at your disposal, which in this instance are the energies of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, work together using all of your skills and your knowledge and your abilities, and going into these new cycles like this new year with the kind of energy that is balanced, that will move you forward and allow you to manifest in the Magician's way, is up to you.